use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description. Good old Liam. Super poly, called by Nadirs. 1 thrust. You got the ulti thrust. Very nice. With 1 dupe. I think that's fine. You might want to run a talents at that point, honestly, just so it feels like you have 2 thrusts. And then you have a very solid main deck. 3 Cartesia, very spicy. 1 Quem. If you're running 3 Cartesia, I'd maybe run the 2 Quem, but that's up to you. And then like 2 Aluber, but that's really up to you. Very good list. I would say Fenrir is cool. I think Fenrir is something I've considered this format, frankly. I think Fenrir is a perfectly fine card to run, especially when you're running like super polys. You want to get cards, or you want to get more stuff to just discard, more advantage and all that fun stuff. We got Krill CT with his list. We got 3 Albaz, 3 Aluber, really standard. We got the 3 Ash with 1 Imperm. That is interesting to me. I have to wonder why 1 Imperm. Wouldn't you want to run 3 at that point? Because like 2 hand traps is a lot better than 1, but it's up to you at that point, because then you have to run more engine to like counteract it, and that goes up to 50 cards. So like maybe at that point I'd run 2 Ash, 2 Imperm. Something to consider perhaps. I think it's a very good list though. You know, I think Gold Sark is questionable this format, but I think Super Poly is very good. I think Ash is actually very questionable. I'd take Ash out of the main deck. Post Fam Nightmare is very good right now. Before Fam Nightmare, post Fam Nightmare, definitely just like get something else than Ash. Like Droll, if anything. Extra Deck looks really good too. 1 Mirror Jade, I love to see it. And then the Nadir package, basically the same as my Extra Deck, very fire. 3 Nib, 3 Droll, 3 Bell on the side. You are never going to lose a lab matchup with this deck, that's for sure. 1 Druid Swarm. I wonder why the 1 Druid Swarm over Magnuma. Magnuma's just like a better one of, so I'd run that over Druid Swarm. 1 Herald of the Abyss for the thrust, of course, and then 2 Cosmics, 1 Evenly. I'd find a way for 3 Cosmics, but I think that's a very solid list. Oh, I love the dualities immediately. We love duality in this house. Duality is something I've thought about running for this format. It might help us out a little bit. Something to consider testing. You have the Dark Dragoon, or you have the Dragoon access on the list. You'll love to see it. You have 3 Ash, 3 Imperm. I think Ash and Imperm is so good right now in the deck. It gets so bad. I mean, Imperm's still fine, but Ash gets so bad next format. So make sure to take that out of your main next format. Obviously, you have the Crossout. So if you're running the Crossout, it's fine. If you don't have the Thrust, or if you don't want to run Thrust and have the Crossout, don't listen to me on that. Run the Ash. Like, you still have to run the Ash, and then you could like Ash something else theoretically. But like even then, if like the populace goes through, Ash ain't doing much. So running Ash with the Crossout seems just fine. And then the Duality, of course, seems very good going second and going first, because the Duality, very fireless. And then you also have double Mirror Jade with the Dragoon, with super poly targets, and then in the extra deck you have a very solid extra deck. How do you like the Lightning Storms and the Feather Duster is my question, because I feel like they're not very good this format, but maybe I could be wrong. 2 Droll, maybe you should run 3 at that point. I just think if you're going to side into Droll, you want to see it. 3 Cosmic, 1 Herald, very good. 2 Droplet, that's fine to me if you're running 3 evenly. It's like very good. Very good list. Honestly, it was just like, I am not losing to a lab player. My wife is not gonna, she's gonna be doing the dishes tonight after losing this Yu-Gi-Oh game kind of thing. See, that's what I would love to do with my wife. Just like, hey, we duel over the dishes tonight. You're gonna get 2-0 scrub. Funny stuff. This girl I just met, actually, I'm talking to, she plays Reptilians, which is very cool. Hopefully we can get her on the channel. But Luce Velapando, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Yeah, no, this is a very fire list. I would just like maybe like it's up to you, but like just like the 1 Imperm I must question at that point. Like maybe just like get rid of it, or like have a Crossout in there to make it like a Crossout target, but very fireless out. Like very good. nevertheless. It looks like you cook Labyrinth all day, which is a matchup I hate. It's a very fair matchup. It's a very good matchup. Like, it's a tough game, but you can still win it. It's just, like, not easy. You're not 2-0ing them very easy. Unless you just have Ash Bell like this man. Very cool, very cool. Liam's side and extra, guys. You got the double Grand Guignol because he's on the 3 Cartesia. Totally makes sense. And then Sanctifier, he has the Titan Clad. He's choosing to run that over the Sprine. He's not on the High Spirit, so that totally makes sense. You have a very solid list. I like the simplicity of the side deck also. I'm going to have to zoom out so you guys can actually see it. 3 Crow, 3 Droll, 3 Nibiru, 3 Cosmic, 3 Evenly. I think that's quite good. I just think like the Ash needs to go post Feeny. Very solid list though, and also the Brand High Spirits looks like it could be kind of a brick in this build. But your mileage may vary. I presume this is post Feeny. I like obviously the standard ratios. I like the I like the Droll. I like the Gimmick Puppet. I think Kit's pretty good to play around Droll too. I think that branded in white it's pretty good with the Borreload Furious. I might run a Magnum at that point too. Just for another dragon, you know. But that's up to you. I think the 3 Droplet might be a little overkill with the 3 Droll and then 3 Super Poly and then 3 Thrust and 1 Beast. I think you can put the Droplets in the side, frankly. That's just me. Or you could drop maybe the Thrusts, or maybe the you can't drop the Drolls in my opinion. I just don't think Droplet in the main is the play for us right now, because like against the fire decks, what are you dropletting? Besides Baron, do you like the Feather Duster in the main too? What do you think about Beast? Because Beast, I don't think you should be. I think it's like mathematically incorrect to run branded Beast with only 2 Bestials, you know, because you don't have Bestials in the side either. So I'd get rid of that Beast unless you're running multiple Sarniers and a Magnamut. I'd put the Duster in the side, frankly. Like you could keep it in the main, it's fine. Like especially if you're cutting the Beast and then remove the Droplets, and then you really do have a good cover up spread with your non-engine. You just don't need the Droplets, you just don't need the Beast. And besides that, it's actually looking really good. I think the Ash and Bells are perfectly fine in the side because you don't lose to Lab, you don't lose to anything besides a fire deck. And then you have the Bells for the fire deck. So, and then you have the Cosmics. I think Twin Twister's dubious. I'd run 3 Cosmic and then like put Feather Duster in the side or something. I think that the Dark Ruler's fine, especially, or you could replace those with the Droplets. Herald of the Abyss is what you want, and then the Borreload Furious, as I said before, guys, is actually quite good. I don't see a Dragoon, so if you're not running the Dragoon, you want that Furious, so that's fine. I might put a Dragoon in there, especially if you're running the Puppet. If you're running Puppet, my logic is like you need the Dragoon, like you need the Dragoon, like just to secure it when you can with something. Also, you could potentially go to 50 cards and run Nadir. That's all I'm saying. You go 50 cards, run Nadir, and like up your ratios a tiny bit. That'd be an interesting build. But I think that's like a bit too big altogether. I like the Proskenion. I like the Imperm. I like the Droll. I think Imperm's fine, actually. If you want main an Imperm, I won't hate on it. I'll hate on Ash. Unless you're on Crossout. I like 41 cards. That seems quite tight. And that's a lot of non-engine at 41 cards. So, you know, I think that's a very solid list. I would maybe run a Nadir just because it seems like a lot of non-engine. So, like, you know, to clear up the non-engine at least for going first. But then again, it's like if you just draw a hand of Imperm, Droll, and Super Poly, you can still pass on that and likely win. So, it's fine. 2 Mirror Jade. I mean, I don't hate on people who do 2 Mirror Jade. I understand it. It can come up, but I just don't think it comes up enough. 1 Proskenion. But it's like, what are you gonna run? You don't really need to cut the 2 Mirror Jade all the time. three bell, 3 ash, 3 droplet, 3 cosmic, 3 evenly. Very clean. Very clean extra deck, or side deck. Very good extra deck. I have no complaints on the side deck. This is actually a very solid list. So yeah, this list is actually quite fire. It's quite spicy. How do you like the sales band would be my question, Yuri. How do you like the branded, or how do you like the Shadal fusions? Obviously, I think they're pretty good with the Ariel. And then the App Cologne. I mean, maining the App Cologne, though, is weird. But you do have the Beast in the main, so, like, I don't know. I would probably main the Ariel at that point. I don't know. And then you have the Poly, which is interesting without the Fright Fur engine. Like, why is that? Like, I would just run... I mean, you do have the Brand Red, so I guess it's, like, another copy. But even then, I'd run, like, the Field Spell maybe at that point. Sales Band's super interesting. I think Sales Band's actually kind of good this format, but it's something to consider. You do have the Magma, obviously. Magma's very good on the side. And then you do have this SP Little Knight, which is something that we've talked about if you've watched Yuri's previous deck profiles. He likes to run that SP Little Knight for when you get ashed, so you can at least still make some other things. I see with this list. Desires, I just wouldn't run Desires personally, but that's like a Yuri special, so like I can't hate on it too much. Side deck or extra deck very standard outside of the App Cologne, which is not live. And then Blazing Brand Hit King is very good. And then you have the Shadal fusions to blow out a Fire King player. Very nice. Change Your Heart seems pretty good this format too. It's something I've considered, but at that point I would run Talons perhaps, because at least you get more out of it. Mr. Plague Spreader Zombie. So this is your list. 46 main deck. We do see the Crossout package, no thrust. That is fine. And I see the 1 Ash with the 1 Nibiru, 3 Droll, because, you know, that's going to be very prevalent. Then the 1 Imperm. I would maybe up it to 2 Imperm, but like 47 isn't probably what you want. I also don't think you need the 1 of Nibiru. I think Nibiru could just be sided. People aren't going to be necessarily maining it too hard. And I like the Nadirs. I like the Crossouts with the Crossout package. If you're not doing the thrust, that's totally fine. And the Super Polys go hard. So, I mean, if anything, I'd say... No, I don't know if I'd really make too much of a change outside of, like, the ratios for the Crossout package. And maybe a second Quem, I don't know. Not really too necessary on the second Quem whatsoever. Especially with 1 Albion, I wouldn't probably go for the second Quem. And then you do have the extra deck here. Really standard extra deck. 2 Mirror Jade. Dragoon. We love Dragoon here. I think Dragoon's quite good this format. Then we have Ash Blossom, Nibiru. We got the second Nibiru, folks. 2 Cosmic, 2 Soul Release, because we are not on the thrust, so he runs the 2 Soul Release. 2 evenly, 1, 2. Oh, the rest of the Imperms, and then the D Barrier, and the Ad Lib, and the Alba Lunatus. Got those extra deck side options. I think those are fine. I think Alba Lunatus, just so you have an easy matchup against fire or dragons. You know, if dragons are in your local meta, certainly something that you should be siding in that case. But I don't think necessarily that is applicable to the national scene. Not a lot of dragon decks, all things considered, right now. So there are no 40 card lists. Yeah, no, I'm surprised. But makes sense. Yeah, that's a good list. I like it a lot. My mic was muted. I would love to do that video on the matchups for branded. We'll definitely make a video on that. I really want to build the deck too. I love rituals for the voiceless voices. Super Poly really solves that matchup. Also a well-placed Imperm does wonders. So just make sure to also banish their Novox. Novox does a lot in their graveyard. So just like little tips here and there. I think it's going to be a fair enough matchups though. It's not going to be... I think it's harder for them to beat us than it is for us to beat them. But I think I went over the deck. Like if there was a deck I was supposed to go over, someone let me know quick. But I believe I went over the deck. Or was it this one? Yeah, it looks like this one. Okay, what's up, Josh? Oh, and then also Sammy. So Sammy's list I like a lot. I thought I already went over Sammy's. That's why I'm confused. 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, really solid. 2. Yeah, no. And then you have the 1 Thrust, 1 Duplication. Pretty good. Ad lib. Masquerade, 3 Cosmics, 3 Bells, 3 Droll. I think that's quite solid. I just think that the Ashes need to go post Phantom Nightmare in the main deck. Besides that, this list is actually really good. The third Thrust might as well just go in the main, but that's up to you. I see why you side it. I've been there before, siding 1 Thrust. That's totally fair. 48 cards too. Maybe like try to get it down to 45. But you are running so many non-engine like the hand traps. I think it's fine for this format. This looks like a really good deck. Just gotta take out the Ashes for this upcoming one, and then you'll be fine. Adlib in the side might be a little dubious too. This list by Mr. Josh looks really good. 2 Ash, 2 Imperm, 3 Crossout. Sure, that's Droll main is very good. Ash is just kind of bad. You want it for the lab matchups and for like Rogue, but you don't want it for the fire decks. So keep out your main for the fire decks because they will be the best decks. You are running the Dragoon as well. Were you running the Dragoon too? I see no Dragoon. That's interesting. I would probably run the Dragoon if I were you, but that's up to you. If you're running the Puppet, but it's up to you. It just feels weird to me to run Puppet and not have a Dragoon because it's like, how are you going to get Dragoon through unless you have Mercury or Loss, which doesn't always happen. Like, you just want more ways, basically, to get through, in my opinion. I don't think Brand Fusion is going to get limited, though, anytime soon. It's probably the next list or two. Probably after Nats, but we'll see. And also, the Evenly is cool. The D barrier with the Crossout makes sense. With the Dark Ruler and Nibiru, looks pretty good. All things considered, I do really like this list as well. I would just take out the Ashes. Well, no, you have to run the Ash for the Crossout, so, yep, that's fine. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you'd like to see more content, we got 2 videos right here on the screen for you to go check out. And then, of course, please check out the links below to support the channel. You can always donate or check out my TCG Player affiliate link, Whatnot affiliate link, in order to support the channel. Also, we have the Twitter and Discord to join. Great resources for you in your branded journey, or if you just like to see updates on my videos and all that good stuff. And please, and also a special shout out to the channel members. We have recently started channel memberships. So if you'd like to support the channel for $5 a month and get some great channel perks, including getting all of my deck lists early and some early videos, then we will, then make sure to sign up. You also get a cool shout out. So shout out to this month's channel members, Yuri and Foss Squared. Thank you guys so much for